I'm Stephanie,
I'm Meredith.
and welcome to This Is My Circus. Ooh, I got you right there because you were
You
like,
did, because I had another thought come in my head. And I was like, we need to figure something out. And then I had to remember my name.
I hate when that happens.
Man, like which personality am I today?
Well,
Yeah.
so Brandon always told me that when I was being like a little feisty, that I
Yeah.
was Stephanie with a PH.
Oh, okay. When you're chill, you got the F.
Hmm.
That's funny. That's funny. Good to know.
My alternate.
Yeah. Good to know.
Yes.
How was Dylan's birthday?
It was good. He had his friends sleep over Monday because they didn't have school Tuesday.
Right.
So I just let them do their thing.
Yeah.
I had like a fire going and the music, and
That was
I was
fun.
like, just keep it like
Yeah.
low enough because other people, like neighbors,
Yeah.
have work tomorrow.
Yeah.
But they all had a blast, and
Good. Did y'all do the movies on Tuesday?
I kept asking him all day, I'm
Yeah.
like, are we gonna go? And
Yeah.
Ruthie ended up coming over,
Hmm.
and so we had dinner here, and they hung out for a couple hours, and she gave him his birthday presents or whatever.
Yeah.
And then by the time she left, it was like 8:30,
Yeah.
9. And so he's like, do you want to watch a movie here? So
Yeah.
he loves my bed because my bed is like super squishy, like
Oh,
soft.
yeah.
Like, I mean, like you just like sink into it.
Yes.
So he's like, can we watch it in your room? And I was like, yeah. So he ended up falling asleep
Yeah. Sounds about right.
in the bed. He was really funny because I was trying to wake him up to go into his room.
Hmm.
And I'm like, hey, do you want to get up to go to your room? And he's like, what time do I have to get up? And I'm like, regular school time. And he's like, what time do I go to sleep? I'm like, I don't know what time you go to sleep.
Oh my gosh.
And he's like, but what time do I have to be there? And I'm like, at school? Like, what are we talking
I love
about?
it when we catch him in that in between sleep and wake, and they are so
And he's like
confused.
looking around and he's like, where what am I doing? And I was like, you need to go into your room to go to bed.
That reminded me of something that happened last night. I have to tell you.
Oh, go for it.
I've told you before about like Brian has the sleep apnea. Sometimes I snore if I'm congested or tired or whatever. Brian will, if I start to snore, last night apparently, it's a little dainty feminine snore, I'm sure. He'll tell me to sit up or to roll, he usually says sit up. Well, I don't know why, but I never understand his directions and I never follow through correctly. So I usually like will sit up in the bed and then just fall back asleep sitting up and not go back. Like it's a whole thing. Well, last night he told me to raise up and I thought he was telling me to raise the bed up. So I got up and was trying to pick up the bed.
Did he get up and try to help you?
I was like, what are you doing? And I don't remember all of it. And I had forgotten about it too. You were just talking about that. But yeah, I tried to pick up the bed last night. Apparently, when I'm asleep, like Dylan, there's all kinds of things going on in
Yeah.
my head. So
I'm such a light sleeper. Like
yeah,
I don't have that. I not that I know of anyway.
yeah.
Have that in between like grogginess because I
Well,
and
that's what's so crazy is, especially since having Jackson when he was little, the slightest noise I could hear him.
mhm.
Brian would sleep through everything, and there's men
Instead
there's
of saying sleeping like a baby, they should say sleeping like a husband.
sleeping like the baby
Yeah,
daddy.
baby daddy. Yeah.
um, yeah. So I don't know, but I guess I'm just in such a deep sleep, and that's why I'm snoring.
Hmm.
I don't know. Well, I'm glad that you guys had fun.
Yeah.
Have y'all watched the new Outer Banks that came out last night? The
We were
second.
supposed to watch it last night,
Okay.
but by the time Dylan got home from work, he got home like semi late, took a shower, and he's like,
Yeah.
I'm just really tired. I'm like,
Yeah.
I totally get it.
Yeah.
Go to bed.
Yeah. Your bed.
Your bed. Not my squishy bed.
No, oh my gosh, that sounds great. I want a bed that feels like a cloud.
Yeah.
Brian wants a piece of
Rock.
plywood. Yes.
Fred Flintstone.
Yes. We are going to have to get one of those
Sleep number beds.
$10,000 beds.
Well, so we had looked at those when we were
Yeah.
mattress shopping a couple of years ago, but Brandon had always like rolled over to my side of the bed,
Hmm.
and I was like, well, would that be weird? Like
Yeah.
half rock, half cloud.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hate a hard bed. Like I want
I
the
know. I do
squish
too.
cloud. Like give me all the fluff.
Brian sneaks onto my side too, like as he's rolling around getting comfortable, and I'm always like, that's gonna be a flag for what's it called when they interfere? Encroachment. That's a flag. Get back to you.
I get so hot when I sleep. Do
Oh,
you?
give it a few more years.
So I just
Yes.
saw, I don't know, I got onto like the 40 and over side of TikTok
Yeah.
somehow.
Welcome to the dark side.
But the lady was talking about, I've never seen them before or even heard of them before, but there's cooling pajamas.
I've never heard of the pajamas.
I want them.
Yeah. Yeah, I want those
I've
too.
got the cooling blanket. Like that stays like
Does it really?
it. I might have gotten like a knockoff one. I don't know. I got it on TikTok, but
Mhm.
it is very cool when you get into bed.
Yeah.
You know, as soon as I move, like it gets cold
Yeah.
again,
Okay.
but it does.
See, I am very complicated because sometimes I want a heated blanket,
Mm-mm.
but then I'll have a hot flash and then I want my fan on. Like, it's just a whole, apparently, I'm very, very sleep situation needy.
Well, no, I just want the fan on. I want it cold and
Oh,
I
cold,
want a
yeah.
cloud.
And well, yeah, a windy, cold cloud to
Because I'm
help.
an angel.
Yes, 100%. Last night I was so hot. Well, it's freaking November and it's 80 degrees.
Yeah.
Mid-November consistently feels like crap outside.
Yes.
Or do you love it? Because I know
Well,
you're a summer girl.
I enjoy like a 75, 80. Like
Okay.
I'm good in that
Yeah.
range. I don't want it like super hot,
Yeah.
like in the summer when it's like
Yeah.
146 degrees.
The humidity's been so bad this week with the nasty weather. Today's better.
Yeah.
Today's
I'm
better.
just glad the sun's out because I can't
I
take any more
know.
rain.
I know.
The rain is killing me.
Agreed. Agreed.
So that can stay
Yeah.
away.
Yeah. Yeah. I need the seasons. I need a little bit of a shift before we go into that 32-degree.
Well, and it doesn't get too bad here. We have like a month, maybe 6 weeks of a cold,
Yeah.
cold.
Yeah.
I outside get cold so quick.
Yeah.
I have like the full down to like the calf
The
jacket.
oh my gosh, I love those though because they cover the butt.
Yeah, yeah. And especially like in sports
Oh
because
yeah.
lacrosse starts in February.
Well, and those are our coldest months,
Yeah,
really. You were talking about it's like from the end of January to usually March, it's freezing.
yeah. So I have
Oh yeah.
the big, and it's got like the big
A
furry
hood with the
hood
fur
thing.
on it.
I have like a ski hat on. I have like the hood up. I have
Yeah.
my electric socks.
Yeah. Do you have the hand warmers?
Mhm.
The ones, the rechargeable ones?
Yes.
I wish I would have invented those.
Yeah, but I never remember to charge anything. Like that's my problem.
Plug them up now. Where are they at?
I don't need them right now. But I do love the electric socks that has the warmers in the socks.
How does that work?
It's got like I don't know these wire things in them, and it like heats. It has a battery.
Okay.
It has a little pocket like right on the side, and you stick the battery into the little pocket,
I need those.
and they come up to almost the knee, but they work really well.
Well, the thing too is once I get cold, and if my feet get cold, forget about it.
Miserable.
It's not, yeah, it's not good.
Did you see what's his name? I'm having a hard time with names today.
Everybody Smith to me, so
No, it's the center that just retired on the Eagles.
Kelsey?
Yes, Kelsey, Jason Kelsey.
With the phone?
Yes.
I just kept seeing like the headlines. So what was the backstory with that?
So he was at a college football game, and college student there was making derogatory comments about his brother dating Taylor
Oh, okay.
and was recording while saying this stuff. And so Jason grabbed the phone and slammed it on the ground and said what he said.
I hate that.
But, you know, he came out and he's basically said, I am sorry for reacting to toxic
Yeah.
people. I shouldn't do that. That is not my character. And I will continue to, do better every day. But what I'm proud of him is he did not apologize to that person directly because that person shouldn't have been all about him with the
Yeah.
camera. And
Like trying to provoke him.
yes, that's what it was. I mean, it was trying to get a video to post on social media.
Of Jason Kelsey losing it and
Either that or like being punked because
Right,
his kid's talking
right.
trash about his brother.
something. Yeah. And here's your new phone, kid. Sorry about that other one. Well, you probably had to.
Sure he had to, but I mean, I'd get him a downgrade.
Here's a Nokia.
The old flip phones. Why are flip phones coming back?
I don't know.
The Razor?
Oh, man, I love my Razor.
The pink
I
one?
had a red one.
Oh, yeah. So that came back, and then I just saw that somebody else is coming out with like a flip phone too.
Oh my gosh.
But I looked at them at the store, and like they are cool. Like you can like it can be folded, and you can use the outside as a
Oh,
screen. Yeah, it's really cool.
all the technology.
I know.
Mind blown.
Yes. So flip phones are back.
Flip phones are back.
Blah, 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 blah.
I just realized who I sound like
Who?
on The Muppets,
Uh-huh.
the chef.
Oh.
It's like, that's me. Who who would play you in your life movie? Oh, the chef from the Muppets.
You know who I love from the Muppets? The Peanut Gallery.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that set up there.
The
Yeah.
hecklers.
Yes, they're great. Oh, I loved the Muppets.
It was pretty good. You know what I really loved though when I was little? Fraggle Rock.
Oh, that was my favorite.
And I told my mom when I got like old enough to, I was probably like teenager. I was like, this is like the Muppets on acid.
Yeah, 100%. The little doozers.
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh, I love Fraggle Rock. I love Fraggle Rock.
Yes, that was one of my
Yeah.
favorites.
Yeah, oh yeah. Did you see all the primates that escaped? Oh,
Did you see my post? I was
no.
like, y'all need to stop rolling the Jumanji dice because
Yeah, 100%.
we do not need.
No, no, no more of
So
this.
this isn't the first time it happened though. So what we're talking about, there was a research facility in South Carolina
Mm-hmm.
that 42 primates got loose.
Yep.
And the caretaker of the monkeys had left the door open, I guess, after she had done something.
The press release was so funny. It's like she didn't properly close the door or something like,
Yeah.
dude, she forgot.
And so they say that monkeys are very social. And so once the first couple of monkeys made their escape, the rest of them followed. So there's random monkeys. They said you might want to keep your windows and doors
Yes.
closed.
Yes.
But this isn't the first time that this has happened. It happened in 2019 as well.
From the
The
same
same
place. So
facility.
I want to say the name of the town's like Yesemi or something like that.
Yeah.
It's low country, South Carolina. It's not far from Charleston.
Hmm.
I was really hoping the monkeys would make it this far.
I don't because these are the monkeys that are used for
Testing is,
vaccinations.
oh,
So they're being
who
given
knows?
the disease.
Yeah. Oh, well, then crap.
So no, thank you.
No, but
I mean, it'd be cool to like see like a monkey in the tree, but I don't.
well, what if like you just look
One
at the
jumped on
side.
Rex's back.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was picturing.
Speaking of animals, and I know like we're going a little bit long-winded before our book, but did you see that this horrible, awful woman called Animal Control on a TikToker that had a rescued squirrel and a rescue raccoon?
Was this
Peanut,
Yeah,
yes, Peanut the squirrel.
yeah,
And they raided his house. I mean, the
yeah.
video showed like 20, like, why do you need 20 officers
I know.
to go in and they destroyed his house? Like, they tore it
It
apart.
was so sad. The little squirrel had a little
Oh
toboggan.
my God.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh. Yeah, so they went to court. Judge said, no, these are, domesticated animals. You can have them back. When they went to go pick them up, they were euthanized already.
I didn't know that part.
Yeah. So this
I knew
horrible,
that they had been euthanized, but I didn't know he had given them permission to go get
yeah, the
them.
judge had ruled and said that they were
Oh my gosh.
domesticated animals
You can have them back.
and then when they went to go pick them up, they were
Terrible.
gone.
I'd love a raccoon though. Gosh, we can't go on that tangent again. We talk about
I
that.
know, but I was so sad
That is sad. I
that
don't remember where they were. Do you remember?
New York,
New York.
like upstate New York, I think.
Okay. There's another guy on TikTok I follow who's got like a whole squirrel family. Have you seen him?
Mm-mm.
Like they're wild, but one that he made friends with first was named Maxine.
Oh, I
And
did see this.
yeah, and he
Yes.
like built a little house for him, and then he had Raymond coming up, and he was like, Raymond is a hood rat, but Rayford can come up here. Like yeah, is great.
I adore that. And I think I said this before when we moved into our house here,
Yeah,
the people before us in that house used to feed the squirrels. Like
yeah,
they would come up and take peanuts from your hand and stuff like that, which was really cool
yeah.
until you ran out of peanuts. And you would go into the kitchen and they would be hanging on your screens and you would just have like four squirrels looking in your kitchen.
That's
That
kind of
was
scary.
that was not okay. And then they got like mad because we didn't get peanuts quick enough,
Yeah.
didn't like re-up our peanut supply.
Stash.
And it was biting like holes in the plastic in the sliding glass door.
Gosh. Did you have to wean them off?
Well, that's when I started sending Mo out to chase them.
Yeah. Hate
And
that too. Oh my gosh.
but yeah, so I would prefer a raccoon over a squirrel, I think.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, they're like cute from afar.
Yeah.
They just freak me out now when I saw them like hanging on our
Yeah, well,
streets.
and they do carry the rabies and stuff.
Well, I just figure if you're rescuing, if it's a rescue and it's like raised from a baby.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm talking about the ones hanging off your back
Oh,
screen.
yeah, I don't want those.
They, they could just go back into the trees.
Dylan used to collect all the acorns that would fall in the backyard and put them in buckets and then leave them out back because like we don't need acorns in
Yeah.
the house. And the squirrels would like just like dive into the buckets.
That's hilarious. That's really cute.
Yeah, I would send him out there with a bucket. I'm like, go collect acorns,
Yeah,
go
yeah.
burn some energy.
Yeah, absolutely. When we were talking about the primates, I had this whole conversation in my head. It was great. Are there monkeys in the US? Like wild?
Oh,
There's not.
I don't think so. And not like on purpose.
Right.
So after this outbreak or whatever in 2019,
Hmm.
the US had put all these monkeys on an island. The monkeys have taken over the island.
That's a movie.
Morgan
Okay.
Island. Morgan Island. It's off of Beaufort.
Off of Beaufort, South Carolina?
Yes.
So the monkeys have taken over?
Yeah. The company secured a federal contract to run a colony of 3,500 monkeys on Morgan Island off of South Carolina, which is also known as Monkey Island.
Oh my gosh.
Is that not bananas?
Are there any people on this island?
I don't know.
Not now.
In 2022, oh yeah, so there was like an outbreak in like 2019, I think, and then then in 2022, it says 3 monkeys escaped following a traffic accident in rural Pennsylvania. How does that happen? So I used to live right outside of
Yeah.
Nashville, and we would go to the Nashville Zoo all the time.
Uh-huh.
And of course, in Tennessee, there's always tornadoes.
Mm-hmm.
And my thought always was, what if there is a tornado that
Mm-hmm.
hits the zoo
Mm-hmm.
and like the lions get out?
Oh
And
yeah. Oh yeah.
talk about Jumanji. Like that would
Yeah.
be like legit
Can you
Jumanji.
imagine like sitting at a stoplight and just the lion walking in front of you? That is in a movie. I can't remember which one, but
Yeah.
it could happen.
Yeah. Like an elephant just do 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 do.
Yeah. They probably can't hide as well as the monkeys. Like, what are the monkeys doing right now?
Oh, they're living their best life at the moment. Being stuck in a research facility and they
Oh
go,
yeah.
mm-mm. That's what I always think when I see the dogs that get loose in the neighborhood and they're
Oh
just
yeah.
like living their best life, you know, like living their best life.
Yeah. They're like, I know I get to sleep on your bed and I get good food, but I did not know all this was out
Yeah.
here.
I can pee on everything.
Yeah. I really hope that our listeners are following our ADD today.
We are pretty bad today. Yeah. So yeah,
that is crazy. I'm gonna have to look into that. Like, I want to see pictures of it.
we can find pictures.
I mean, it's really pretty.
Morgan Island is
Oh,
uninhabited and is home to a breeding colony of approximately 3,500 free-range Indian origin monkeys, 370 acres, semi-tropical maritime forest, where the monkey colony primarily resides.
where's the other where's their other residents? I couldn't get
What?
that. They primarily reside there. Where else do they reside?
Well, maybe just not in the jungle part.
They don't like
Like-
have a winter home.
They go to the beach. they have their mountain home and their beach house.
We somewhere near the coast. Oh my goodness. It's really pretty island.
It is. I just
Oh, that would be really gross though. Think about like
no,
all
I don't
that.
want to go.
Uh-uh.
Like another thing I would never want to do is you know in the Bahamas you can swim with the pigs.
I didn't want to do that either, but they're really little.
I don't know. Like pigs are not my thing.
Yeah, so we went to the Bahamas a few years ago and Jackson tried to get me to do it. Well, I was picturing big old hogs for slaughter and my mom really bad today. Really bad today. So my mom grew up near a farm. They had hogs and they would chase her and she was scared of them. They would be pinned, but like if they were in a pen, but if she would go in there and feed them and didn't get out enough, then they were mean. So she's told me the story all my life. So of course now I have this fear of hogs. Well, we did not swim with the pigs. We did the stingrays. That was great. Well, after I got back and did the research on it, they're little pigs.
Yeah.
And they're really cute.
Yeah.
And then they just like lay on the beach. I would do it now because they're little.
Pigs are just not my thing.
Yeah. Not me.
So it is our I was trying to think of like a funny name for this month and
Okay.
I put It's Giving month. So It's Giving,
It's giving.
Backstabbing Friends,
Okay.
which is our episode today.
Okay.
Which
It's giving.
It's Giving.
I struggled this week.
So did I.
Okay. What'd you come up with? Like, did you come up with a lot of stories or anything?
A couple times,
Okay.
friends turning on friends.
Okay. I came across a lot of Friends episodes, the TV show, and I ended up watching some of those.
Got distracted.
Totally. I know that surprises everybody. The one where Monica puts the turkey on her head. I loved Friends. I love Friends.
Yes, so do I.
Yeah.
I still watch it sometimes.
Oh, obviously. But let's start with our book review.
Yes.
So you got our blurby?
Yes. So this week we read Not Bad People by Brandy Scott.
Mm-hmm.
This was her debut book, a clever, compelling debut novel with a unique premise of what happens when three best friends engage in what seems to be a harmless act, but instead results in tragedy, leading the women to confront buried resentments, shattering secrets, dark lies, and the moral consequences that could alter their lives forever. Three friends, 30 years of shared secrets, one impulsive gesture, and a terrible accident. When friendship goes bad, someone has to pay. It's New Year's Eve. Three 30-something women, Amy, Melinda, and Lou, best friends for decades, let off sky lanterns filled with resolutions. For meaning, for freedom, for money. As the glowing paper bags float away, there's a bright flare in the distance. It could be a sign of luck or the start of a complete nightmare that will upend their friendship, families, and careers. The day after their ceremony, the newspaper reports a small plane crash. Two victims pulled from the wreckage, one a young boy. Were they responsible? Amy thinks they are. Melinda won't accept it, and Lou has problems of her own. It's a toxic recipe for guilt trips, shame, obsession, blackmail, and power games. They're not bad people, but desperate times call for desperate measures.
Yep.
This book was freaking long.
It was very long. Okay, so an audiobook, apparently it was based in Australia.
Yes.
So that threw me. Wasn't expecting that.
Well, I know you love an accent,
I
though.
do love an accent, but as soon as I was like, oh, let me see, where are they? Oh, Australia, got it. Very slow start for me. Very.
I almost gave up on it at like the 30% mark. I was like, this is too.
This is not it.
I could not get into it at the start
Yeah.
at all.
It was a bunch of nothing.
Yes.
It was terrible.
It was too much.
It was.
So the book, if you do the audiobook, it's 16 hours long. 16 hours.
I did not realize it was that long.
16 hours.
Sorry.
For something that should have been like
half of that
7.
at least. Yeah. Well, and most of our books are.
Yeah.
Most of our books are about 8.
We've had those long books before.
Uh-huh.
But those have so much information that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
When it makes sense or when it adds value.
I
But
feel like it was going nowhere.
oh my gosh.
Nowhere. And I kept thinking, this is going to mean something. And then it was never mentioned again.
And I kept getting lost because when they switched character,
Yeah.
like there wasn't any like transition. I don't think that they said like the chapter numbers in the audiobook, and that's probably why. They might have switched chapters.
They did like a heavy pause, but when you're listening to it on 1.5,
yeah.
Or when you're just, trying to listen to the book, you don't think about it. So yeah, they didn't distinguish really well.
Big thumbs down.
Yeah, it was not great.
So in my head, because it was so long, I thought all of this time had passed throughout this whole story. Right. It was like 2 weeks.
Yeah. I feel like we lived every second of those 2 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
I know. I thought the same thing. Okay, spoilers and stuff. I thought we were going to get to meet Tansy's baby. I thought we were going to get to know what's going on here. Did you figure out who Tansy's dad was at all? Me neither.
No. I didn't even know Melinda did a brother.
Right. That came out of nowhere. I thought it was going to be the dude that was in the wreck with Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which then I was like horrified for a minute, thinking that.
Well, when they started talking about the baby having extra chromosomes,
yeah,
I was like, well, maybe there's some interfamilial relationship that made the baby have a deformity.
Yeah. I don't remember them ever even mentioning Melinda had a brother.
They didn't.
So there was no way that anybody could have guessed that.
Right. I think that was cheating.
Yeah.
You got to introduce us to the characters.
Yeah.
Before you're all of a sudden like,
and I may have missed it. Did they ever tell Paul that he's going to be a grandpa?
Not that I recall.
I don't recall that. But I know that Lou had asked him if he wants to hang out with him at the end of the book. Because, he was going to be all alone and he lost his job due to circumstances with the plane crash.
Yeah.
But I don't remember them ever saying, she's having your grandkid.
Right.
I wanted them to tell Paul. I wanted them to tell Paul, it's horrible that this happened, but like a piece of him lived on.
Right.
Hopefully. Because they introduced
some complications.
And may or may not be complications.
I feel like they were trying to set this book up for there to be a sequel, and we will not be reading that.
No.
Because with the way it ends with Melinda at the end, did you
Yes.
catch on to that too?
Yes.
I'm sure you did. You're
Yeah.
a smart cookie. Where
It's the very last line.
it's the very last
Because I was
line.
so excited.
Yeah.
So
We're never reading another book that this lady writes again.
mm-mm.
Okay, let's move on from this stupid book.
Okay, what would you rate it?
2.
Okay, I was like gonna say like 3, 4. I'd be generous
Okay.
because I felt bad because this is this lady's first book. This was not it for me,
No, this wasn't good. Don't read this one, y'all. But read
in
our
our
next
opinion.
but read our next one. It'll be much better. I really hope so.
It's only 6 hours.
It's a shorter one. It is The Guilty One by Kirsten Moglen.
So next week it's giving family drama.
Yeah, it's giving family drama.
Yeah.
And we should be able to find a lot of stuff with that.
Yeah. What did you find out this week besides Friends?
So this isn't drama, but it's Friends and Thanksgiving. So
Okay.
figured it'd be okay. You've seen the text of the woman who texted somebody that she thought was her grandson, and she's like, "Hey, what time are you coming for Thanksgiving?" And I love that story.
I do too.
And he's like, "I don't think you messaged the right person." And they send pictures to each other, and one is black and one is white, and their families weren't interracial, so they were like, "Yeah, definitely wrong person." But and he was like, "Can I still get a plate though?" She was like, "Absolutely, that's what grandmas do." And so they've been having Thanksgiving together for years.
Years, yeah.
And I just think that's a fun,
I love
great
that
story.
story too. Yeah.
I'm going to message somebody randomly. Ask, yeah.
I would probably get a serial killer.
That could go really bad.
That can go really bad, really, really quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. So I did some Friendsgiving stuff, and did you know where that started?
Mm-mm.
The Real Housewives.
Oh, really?
Didn't know that.
Me either. Do you watch The Real Housewives?
No, did you ever?
Yeah, not all of them though. Like the Jersey, I
Yeah.
watched like when it originally was on.
Yeah.
And then the OC.
You know what I want to watch?
Hmm.
Mob Wives.
I've never watched that.
I think that lifestyle's so interesting. Because most of them are not necessarily mob wives. They're children where their dads were the heavy mob guys, allegedly.
Well, now it's a show called The House of Villains, and they take all of the villains from all the different reality shows and put them in a house, and they have to do competitions, and they have to like backstab each other.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really didn't find a lot.
So I just kind of put in like friend crimes or like backstabbing friend crimes, something to that effect, and I got a lot of very similar stories, which scares me.
I think me putting in the word Thanksgiving threw up all my results.
Yeah.
So what kind of similarities did you see?
So the one case that I kind of like went in on, because I have heard of it before, but I didn't like really go deep dive into it, was Skyler Neece.
I feel like I've heard this name.
It's Skyler went missing in July of 2012. Her two best friends, quote unquote best friends, went on social media expressing concern, fear, hope, praying she comes home. Police initially thought she ran away because she snuck out of her house to go hang out with her friends.
She was a teenager, right?
They're 15, 16.
Yeah.
So the cops thought she was just a runaway.
Right.
Yeah.
By the way, public service announcement, that's not really a thing where you have to wait 24 to 48 hours.
Yeah.
So
especially for a minor.
Right. So if somebody goes missing, you don't have to wait.
Yeah.
Go ahead and call. If something's out of the norm, not feeling right, that gut, give them a call.
Yeah. So her two friends, Rachel and Sheila, told the police eventually, yes, she snuck out. We went to hang out, but we dropped her off a block away from the apartment that she lived in with her parents so she can sneak back in without getting caught. So police and FBI comes in eventually, and they're like, something's off here, but they couldn't really prove it. About 6 months later, Rachel had a mental breakdown and confessed to the police. She led them to the body. And so at least her parents could bury her. After doing the autopsy, this poor girl was stabbed 50 times. And they had just used regular kitchen knives to do this. And they had planned for over a month, this whole scheme. The plan was to pick her up at her house at night, drive to a remote area to smoke marijuana. Once they were in the woods, the plan was to count to 3, then stab Skyler to death. Authorities say that Skyler was found with over 50 stab wounds. Sheila denied it to the FBI. She denied it, denied. She had no feelings, had no remorse. Exactly. So got a warrant. They searched her house, took all of her electronic devices. When they searched her car, they found Skylar's blood in a trunk.
Mm-hmm.
So they arrested her. The other one was already arrested, obviously, from
Mm-hmm.
confessing. Sheila, the one that had absolutely no remorse, pleaded guilty to first-degree murder and was sentenced to life in prison. Rachel pleaded guilty to second-degree murder because of her cooperation
Mm-hmm.
and got 30 years, and she was eligible for parole. So she was just eligible for parole last year, and it was denied. When they asked the girls why they did it, Rachel said they just didn't like her and didn't want to be friends with her anymore. But there is another theory, I guess, from people that know this
Mm-hmm.
group of girls that a month before Rachel and Sheila hooked up in front of Skylar,
Yeah, I've heard that.
and that made Skylar mad, and she said she was going to tell everyone about it, and
Mm-hmm.
then this started.
Mm-hmm.
But the creepy thing is, Sheila, the one that with no remorse, had tweeted 1 month before she got arrested, "We really did go on three," referring to the girls counting
Their
down.
countdown. You mentioned that there are several similar to this.
Hmm.
I don't know if this is the same one. There was one where there were two girls that were friends, and the third girl moved in. And the girl that moved in and one of the original girls ended up killing the other girl. Was this similar
Yeah, hmm,
to this one? Like, same thing.
yeah.
I mean, 50 stab wounds is a lot, but they're not dying instantly
Especially with a kitchen knife.
with the kitchen knife.
It was so many similar, which just
Yes.
scares the crap out of me.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Um, but like the Slender Man murders in New
Uh-huh.
York.
Yep.
But besides that, and there are like there was some boy stuff too, like where it was like boys doing this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But there were so many girls,
Most of them are girls.
and that's terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's terrifying either way.
Right.
I don't know why, it just shook me up. But did you hear that Australia case where a whole group of girls were having a sleepover and they had planned to beat up one of the girls at
Mm-hmm.
the sleepover and ended up killing her? I mean, they tortured her, all
Mm.
tortured her. And then our small little town
Right.
of Clover, South Carolina,
Yeah.
had a super similar thing happen.
Mm-hmm.
Was it last summer or the summer before? I feel like it was a summer.
I feel like it was the summer before. We talked about it when it first happened on here. So it was when we first started
Yeah,
our pod.
which you just don't expect it to happen in your town.
No. No. How about the girl that went to Mexico? Young lady. They were like 20, 21. A group of like six ladies. One of them was from Charlotte. This was recently. They went to Mexico, the Bahamas, somewhere, and they beat the crap out of her and killed her while she was there.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Yes. Oh, that was terrible. Let me find her name.
Okay.
So her name was Shanquella Robinson. She died while on vacation in Mexico with six of her friends. She was 25. The friends initially told the authorities that the young girl died of alcohol poisoning, but the autopsy later conducted by Mexican officials revealed that she died as a result of a spinal injury. Then the video came out later showing a naked Robinson being physically attacked by one of her fellow tripmates. Another person in the room even told Robinson to fight back, and she said no. Yeah, they killed her in Mexico. But again, women.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it taking it that far.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I don't. Mm-mm.
yeah.
Um, there was a girl on TikTok that did a story time that her friends, when she was 15 or 16, I believe, um, her friends tried to poison her. She was a typical teen, had smoked pot before,
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
experimented. Her friend picked her up. They went to another friend's house, a guy's house, and the whole way there, her friend's like, "Oh, are you gonna smoke? Are you gonna?" And
Mm-hmm.
this girl Lexi was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." So they get there, and the stuff is out on the table, and he's like, "Oh, are you gonna smoke?" And Lexi said, "Yeah, I'm gonna." And the other girl like, "No, I'm not gonna smoke. I'm good." And like Lexi was like, "Well, that's weird. Why not? But
Right.
okay, whatever." And the guy was like, "Oh, ladies first," and he packs the water bong,
Mm-hmm.
and she takes a huge hit, and he was like, "Oh, I wasn't expecting that,"
Yeah.
and she was like, "What?" And so she gets all jacked up from whatever they laced the pot with,
Mm-hmm.
and they beat the crap out of her.
Mm.
I don't know if she said that she was like assaulted any other way
Yeah.
other than just
Yeah.
physically beaten, but I guess the kid's mom heard her yelling
Yeah.
and came upstairs and said, "Get her out of here. She's going to die and it's not going to be in my house." So she goes to run, and her friend was like, "What are you doing?" Like trying to make her feel like she was crazy,
Mm-hmm.
and then pushed her down the stairs. at this house. So she is able to get up and get out of the house, and she's like screaming in the road, like, help me, help me, help me.
Oh my gosh.
Anytime somebody stopped, her friend was telling them that it was her sister. Please don't call the cops. She's schizophrenic and
Right,
is
right.
having an
A mental
episode.
breakdown.
I'm just trying to get her back in the house. And luckily, this one man was like, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to her. And he was on the phone with the police.
Good.
So he got an ambulance to come. The ambulance said the other girl was trying to like dip out, like it
Yeah.
wanted nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
It was acting
Yep.
weird.
Yep.
And the cops were obviously called. The poor girl was in the hospital for like several days
I just,
from mental stuff from the drugs.
yeah. Because of what?
There was no actual
Right.
cause. I mean,
Right.
like,
Right.
there's no cause that could make you
Yeah.
do this to a person regardless. There's no like excuse for it.
Yeah.
But no charges were ever brought up for anybody in this situation because there was no like quote like hard evidence.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
So the only guy situation that's coming to mind where there's friends who they do terrible crimes is Aaron Hernandez.
Mm,
So most of you guys probably know who that is. He was a football player. He played for the Patriots. He was from the New England area, and he murdered two dudes at least. But same thing, they were friends. So one of the last dudes he murdered was dating his baby mama's sister.
mhm.
So they were like a little family. He was eventually sentenced and he was in prison and he ended his life. And the reason for it is not 100% known. There's all kinds of allegations there and
Mhm.
rumors and stories about, dude had seen Aaron with dudes and, things like that, or over drugs or what. But yeah, that's the only dude situation like that I can think of.
Yeah, just recently, a teenage boy was at a party. He was 15 and got beaten so bad that he died at the party.
Oh,
And there was like a video of it too, because the kids video everything and
everything.
they put it all out on
Yep.
Snapchat and whatever, and people
Yep.
save it, screen record, whatever. But yeah, he was 15 and went to like an after homecoming party or
Right.
something to that
Right.
effect. One of this kid that got beat up's friends called 911 at the party, thank God.
Yeah.
Because they were able to then connect it all and get the people
Mm-hmm.
that did it.
Yeah.
It was heartbreaking. And
Yeah.
for the parents of these
Right.
kids that are getting killed, and I mean, even if it was just an assaulted jump,
Right. Right.
I, mm,
That's tough.
I would be the mom going to jail.
Yeah.
I'd be in jail.
It's just like 15-year-olds planning for months to stab somebody and having the plan and tweeting about it or posting about it before or and after. And I don't, it's just crazy.
Don't get me wrong, like I have been in my share of altercations.
Well,
But
this is going to sound really crazy, but fights were different when we were
yeah,
younger. You threw a couple of punches or clawed a little bit and it was over. Teachers broke it up. So things just were different.
we went south on this episode. It went
Yeah,
dark.
and it's sad. Let's move on.
Okay. So,
Figure out a way to make that end. Okay.
so like testing like your level of loyalty, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is your breaking point that you would turn somebody in?
What they do?
I don't know. Okay, start with
So
your absolute BFF. Is there anything that they could do that would make you turn them in?
hurting a kid.
Hmm.
I would absolutely. That's not okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
How about like a good friend, but like not like your bestie? Is there like a different level of turning in?
Yeah, probably. Maybe not turning in like calling the cops, but being more petty with it, like calling where they work and leaving a bad review. No, I don't know. I'm trying to think of something that would.
If somebody like a surface level friend
Uh-huh.
murdered somebody, would you turn them in?
Yeah, I think I would.
Okay.
But I mean, was I there? See, this is where I'm not good at this because I
Mhm.
want to know. I need like every single.
All
I
the
need,
details. Yeah.
I can't just do like a what if. I need
Yeah.
to know, was I there? Was it an accident?
Mhm.
Was it premeditated? Like all the things.
Yeah.
But I think, yeah, I'd like to think if I knew somebody killed somebody, I would turn them in.
If you had to say, if I called you from jail and I
Mhm.
was like, oh my gosh, I just got arrested, what do you think it would be for?
Fighting somebody out of control in a bar or a concert, a public venue.
Oh my gosh, I think that yours would be for rescuing an animal that didn't need rescuing.
Like I stole a dog
Yeah.
from some, like I took Rex because I thought he wasn't happy here. Yeah, 100%. I would 100% do that. Yeah, I don't think yours would be anything like dark, like you were, driving while intoxicated or anything like that. You're too smart and you have Dylan. But, but like you would be the one who would be like in a bar and be like, you know what? I bet I could punch them over there and they won't even do anything. And then like it would just snowball to this big like saloon brawl. Mhm.
I never threw the first punch
Okay.
ever. That was my
Okay.
rule growing up. My dad laid out the rules of
Don't ever go the
don't
first
ever
punch.
throw the first punch, but you better finish it.
Finish it. That's kind of what I told Jackson too.
And that's the rule that we always told Dylan.
What about you? What's your line? Like if I hit and run, nobody got killed, but we're in a car and yeah.
I didn't see nothing. I was
Yeah.
I know nothing.
What about if another one of our friends, what about what if they were stealing from their
I
company?
wouldn't. I
Doesn't
mean,
bother you?
well,
It's not, I mean, it's not your company.
right. I mean, listen. I mind my own business.
Yeah.
I think, like you said, like the whole like child thing for
Yeah.
sure. Like
But
that's.
other than that, I just really don't want to be involved.
I want to know though,
Oh, I want to know.
but then I'm gonna say I don't know.
Okay, so another situation. You're driving down 77, 85, whatever, one of the interstates, and there's somebody in front of you who's like weaving all over the road, like driving very erratically. Are you going to call the cops and let them know there's somebody on the road?
I think so. I mean, I've never done it before.
Yeah, I've done that before.
But I would. I'm not
Yeah,
because I don't want anybody to get hurt.
right. That was my thing, and also they're being an Stop. Stop doing that. Yeah, I've caught on stuff like that before. And Brian kind of would get mad. He's like, somebody else will call. And I'm like, nope, that's actually, I can't remember what it's called, but it's some kind of theory where somebody else will do it,
Yeah.
so nobody does it.
Oh, you know what? My sister and I were at a mall in Virginia Beach, bridesmaid dress shopping.
Yep.
And this dude stole a lady's purse. And a big guy. I mean, he had to have been like 6'3". And we were standing by like the exit kind of.
Yeah.
And my sister took a step in front of him and he looked at her like he was gonna like
Plow her over.
and keep going. And so she just kind of stepped back.
Yeah.
And the lady's like, stop him. And we're like,
Right.
I'm 5'2".
Right.
What am I gonna do?
Right.
I'm not gonna be able to do nothing. We did see what car he jumped in.
Yeah.
And gave that to the lady to let her handle whatever she needed to do with that. But people are crazy.
People are very crazy.
And
even if like you would have stuck your foot out and tripped him, what are you gonna do then?
I'm gonna run the other way.
I mean, but what if he had a gun?
I know, that's what I mean. I'm running the
Yeah.
other way. Again, if it was a kid, that was like,
Right. That's different.
yeah. If somebody was trying to take off with a kid, I would do anything I could to
Right.
prevent that.
Absolutely.
But for the purse,
Yeah.
nope. Nope. Again, ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
And I don't know nothing.
Jackson's texting me. Let me tell you why this dude is calling me. I'm obviously not home. I'm here, right, with you. So he's calling me because 2 of our dogs got out. What am I supposed to do? I was like, well, okay, just drive around on the golf cart and see. Like, there's a couple places that they get like down to the water and stuff. And he was like, I don't see them. Where else can I go? Where else can I go? And he was like, I found them. They're back at the house.
See, that's what I'm talking about. When they go out and they're just like, freedom.
Yeah, he was 100%. So Louis is fine by himself. That's our youngest one. If he's out by himself, he will come back. He knows he is not built for that life. But Emmy, she is our girl that's a boxer and hound mix, and she would be an outside dog if I would let her. About, I just don't want anything to happen to her.
Yeah.
She stays outside a lot, but until it's time for bed. And then she wants to sleep on something soft, and she likes to bury her nose under a blanket.
Oh.
And that heated blanket I was talking about, she wants to lay on it with me. But during the day, she wants to troll the land.
Rex just likes to stay slumped on the floor.
So if I stole Rex, will you turn me in?
I would just go steal him back.
Yeah, that is actually 100% what I would do. Because I've literally told Brian before. Did I tell you about the Rottweiler I was? Okay, a couple weeks ago. So, I do the dog walking and stuff. So I was taking care of a Rottweiler, and her family was gone, and she was so sweet. I love Rottweilers. I like big dogs anyway. And she was so, so sweet. And I told Brian, I was like, let me just bring her home. And he was like, No, she has a family. And then they would call or text me, whatever. They're like, we're going to stay one more day. We're going to stay one more day. We're going to stay. So they kept extending their vacation. And I was like, they're just not going to come back and we're going to have a Rottweiler. I was like, you can't just bring the dog home.
Was it like
So
a huge, huge one?
she was good size.
Yeah.
I mean, being a female, she wasn't as big as, a male would be, but oh my gosh, she was so sweet.
Yeah.
She just wanted lovies.
Did you see that story of the pet photographer that got bit by the cane, what are they?
Cane
Yeah,
Corso?
cane corso.
No.
And so she was telling her story, and the woman had two dogs,
Hmm.
and then she had her children with her. And the first one was like super calm, chill, whatever.
Yeah.
The second one was younger and just wasn't trained.
Yeah.
And she said as soon as it walked in, it locked on her.
Oh,
And the woman was probably, I mean, very petite, was not able to
I
control
don't know
the
why I
dog.
assumed she was old and frail, but she was a
Yeah.
small lady.
But luckily, this pet photographer knew how to kind of maneuver her body. But I mean, she had, I mean, so when
Oh,
she was talking about the bite pressure,
mhm.
whatever, she said those dogs are like a 700, whereas a pit bull is like 250.
Oh my
She
gosh.
said that they can literally like bite your arm off.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, they're huge too.
yeah, they're,
They're
yeah.
beautiful dogs.
Yeah, and if they're trained, they're
Right.
wonderful,
Right.
but they're they can be obviously, if
Yeah.
not trained properly or if not trained at all and not
Yeah.
socialized, and
Right.
that's what the this photographer said was the dog was not socialized.
Right. My dogs aren't really trained well per se, but they're very socialized. Like they do some naughty things. They are not the prince, but
Well,
but
he's older too.
but they're not going to, do that.
Yeah,
But I hate that though. She was okay. The photographer was okay.
she was. I mean, she's very shooken up.
That's so terrible. That's your livelihood attacking you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like some PTSD stuff with that, I'm
And
sure.
she said that she's done, plenty of portraits of Rottweilers, of
Yeah.
German Shepherds, of pit bulls, all of them.
Do you remember Dobermans were the bad dog for a while?
A lady in our neighborhood has min pins.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I hate those dogs. Like her dogs.
Yeah.
They attacked Rex's legs and I kicked one of them.
I remember you telling me about
Yeah.
that. Wasn't too long ago.
I was like, yeah, like a year ago maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, so those little
Mm.
butt heads.
Yeah.
But again, I think, it's all about how you raise your dogs. It doesn't matter
Right.
what kind of dog you have if
Right.
you don't raise it properly and you
Right.
don't train it properly. And
Well, and still in the back of my mind, I have to remember they're still animals.
yeah.
Like, still got animal instincts. They're still an animal and they're going to revert to those instincts a lot of times.
Yeah, thank God that this is exactly what she said, is that the other dog didn't have that pack mentality
Yeah.
and attack as
Both
well.
attack. Yeah.
I feel so bad for that woman, and she
Yeah.
showed her bite marks, and
Mm.
it was awful. I mean, she really could have, that dog could have done some major damage. She said that however she was maneuvering, it couldn't get
Yeah.
like a whole arm lock.
Yeah.
So thank goodness she knew what to do in that situation.
Yeah. That's great. And that, like you said, the other one was trained.
So that's petrifying.
Yeah. I don't want to think about that anymore.
No, we need to keep going dark.
What's wrong with us? It's the time change.
Yes, we'll blame it on that.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to do Am I the a-hole?
Okay.
Oh,
Let's do it.
actually,
I'm a 30-year-old female, husband, 33, accused me of murder out of the blue. How do I salvage this? This is long and ridiculous. Sorry. My husband, Luke, had a sister, Laura, 29, female.
Luke and Laura.
Right. I was thinking that too. We were all close and saw each other 2 to 3 times a month, along with their parents. Almost 6 months ago, Laura fell down the stairs at their family home and died. It was a freak accident. There's a window on the half landing, and she hit her head on the sill. I was the last person to see her. I was there for less than 10 minutes, and she was in her pajamas making coffee. Why is it always the stairs?
Like the staircase.
Yeah. I didn't even stay for a drink, and I struggle with how such a brief and meaningless interaction could have been her last. She deserved so much more. My husband and I have only been married for a year, but we've been together for 4 and have known each other for 20 plus. When Laura's parents found her, they called my husband straight away and we rushed over. We faced the whole thing as a family. In the days after, Luke started quizzing me exactly what we talked about, what she was wearing, where we were standing, etc. It progressed to saying I was providing conflicting information on tiny details he was deliberately misunderstanding and accusing me of withholding information because I couldn't tell him things like what pajamas she was wearing. This escalated quickly but lasted for less than a week as I lost my cool and made it clear that I was done answering questions. He didn't bring it up again, and I wrote it off as a grief quirk. His behavior was generally that of a normal grieving person. Last Friday, he outright accused me of murdering her in front of his parents. Out of the blue, we were all stunned. There was an inquest which recently concluded, and there was never any doubt the verdict would be accidental death. He said it was completely obvious, and he couldn't believe how no one else could see it. He claims I went through his phone and found his messages with Laura. I have absolutely no idea what messages he's talking about. I've never looked at his phone. And then I went over to confront her, and things, quote, got out of hand, and I pushed her downstairs. By the end, he was shouting about going to the police and getting the inquest overturned and how I wasn't going to get away with it. Let me be clear, Laura and I had a great relationship. We all did. I have no idea where this has come from other than these messages I haven't seen, and even then, I don't think there's anything I could ever see on someone's phone that would drive me to murder. It's just ridiculous.
I want to know what the messages say.
I do too. This is just random. He's been with his parents since this happened and will not talk to me at all. I've had some contact with his mom, but she's not being very communicative. The last I heard, she didn't know what messages he was referring to either. I'm still completely stunned, and I have no idea how to proceed. I made a commitment to be there for him always, and I understand that grief can manifest in strange ways. But part of me feels like my love for him died the second he called me a murderer, and I don't know how we could possibly work through this. I also really don't want to be thought of this way. I have no idea if he said anything to people we know. I obviously haven't. A brain tumor or psychotic break has crossed my mind, and I suggested it to his mother, and she said she'll talk to him. Other than the questions before, he hasn't been acting odd. Obviously, he's been grieving, but he seemed sane and sensible other than this. I feel like I'm going mad. Does anyone have any advice at all? The more I read about it, it's like there's something else going
Well,
on.
I would like to know what the messages
Messages
say
today?
because there's more to that story. Because siblings aren't going to talk trash on you unless something's going on.
Right.
So there was something going on. And what was it going on, lady?
Don't you know we want the tea?
I mean, I don't think that you killed her.
No, I don't think so either. I don't know. I don't
And
know
listen,
you.
I'm not detail oriented,
Yeah.
so I would not know what pajamas she had on. Like tomorrow, if you asked me what you were wearing, I wouldn't know what to say. I
Yeah.
would be a horrible witness.
Yeah.
See,
And
I don't know nothing.
yeah. Yeah. I remember random things,
No,
but not like I remember this because he looks so cute
thank
today.
you.
But yeah, I couldn't tell you what Dylan had on when I saw him earlier. No idea what Jackson has on today. But yeah, something's not right there.
Mm-mm.
We're missing a big piece of that story,
Mm-hmm.
other than the fact that you're British, because you spelled pajamas weird, you spelled behavior weird, and you said mum. Mum.
I
And
didn't bring out the accent.
I didn't. Because I was having a hard time following this
Yeah.
way it was written.
I think your husband's kind of losing
Yeah.
it and kind of the butthead in this. And unless there's something like major that you did that like we need to know
If you
about,
want to call us,
we'll have you have like
message us.
interview you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, did you watch? Speaking of interviews, the Judge Joe Brown.
Oh my
Candace Owens?
gosh. All the tea.
I told you, right? Like
He was, that man's a genius.
for real.
That memory, we are terrible witness. He would be the GOAT witness.
Well, I mean, he's in that industry, so
Yeah. But the dates that he could recall of things that happened or what somebody said, I was just so impressed.
his brain is a vault.
It was crazy.
Phenomenal interview.
I want to know everything he knows.
And I think Candace does such a good job
Oh yeah.
letting him get like
Yeah.
get everything out
Yeah.
and flow with it.
I learned a lot. What I liked about it too is he would tell you something and then he would back it up.
Gave details to back it up, evidence to back it up.
Right. And the whole thing was crazy with all of the people in politics being related.
Yes. Yes.
And again, that's fact checkable.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not just, he's not just saying stuff. It's all easily checkable.
Fascinating. It was such a fascinating
I
2
want to hear
hours.
more.
I might go back and listen to it, as I'm sure I missed
Oh
stuff.
yeah. Well, because like your jaw's on the floor trying to absorb something and then he drops another one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah.
We love you, Judge Joe Brown.
That's not married to Judge Judy.
That is not married to Judge Judy.
fascinating.
Yeah.
Fascinating man. I would love to have like sit down, and I know I said last time have an interview, but I would love to sit down and have a meal with him
Yeah.
and just have that open dialogue like over the dinner table.
And let him just go.
Oh yeah, like wide open.
So there's a lot of people that I think are really cool. Like in the Bourne movies, you know how like he's running from somebody and he sees and I'm just not this smart, but like, and I know he was trained and it's a movie, but like he sees like the exit that you're supposed to have for the building. He rips the map off the wall and like he knows to use that and he knows to do this. Like I wish I was that smart. Like I knew,
Like MacGyver.
yeah. And I wish I was like Judge Joe Brown too.
Mm,
That smart.
yeah.
With that recollection ability
Yeah.
that I obviously don't
Same.
have.
But you know what? I swear, like once you get pregnant and you have a child, I swear that your child takes half of your brains.
Oh yeah. Like
I really feel like I
and
lost so much of
so
my.
much of my brain cells are gone. And
Well, it could be from my partying days as well.
well,
Well, if our other half-brained people out there
uh-huh.
listening to this,
Yep. I really hope that this app goes good.
I will make it work. We always
Okay.
do.
You're right, you do. The magic. Voodoo.
Thank you guys for listening this
Yep.
week. Next week is
Family.
Family Feud.
Family.
We should play Family Feud in our group.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, let's play Family Feud this week.
Okay. That sounds good.
Please like, share, subscribe. Please, if you can, like, even just share with just one of your friends, let them
Yep.
know that you will enjoy the podcast, somebody that you think would enjoy it.
I don't know why you're not.
But if we would love it if you do.
Well, and I would really, really like for you to leave us a rating and review.
Please.
Like it doesn't even have to be anything major. Just say like they're great. A little emoji. Anything. Just it really helps.
We
Yep.
appreciate you guys tuning in each week, and we hope that you enjoy it.
Yep. We'll talk to you next week. We
We
love
love
you.
you.
Bye.
Bye.